I'm going to tell you a really, really dark joke. Okay, so these people, this guy and this group of people took these people and they put them in a specific space and they tortured them and they killed them and they slaughtered them. And it's called the Holocaust. And it happened. Okay? So wait, that's not the joke because that's not funny. What's funny is that flash forward years later, the ancestors of the people who this was done to are doing it to a whole new set of people. Now, that's the joke. And it's dark and it's horrible that people are being slaughtered by the descendants of people who were slaughtered. I can't say it with a straight face. I honestly can't. And I don't think the Messiah, if I am, or if they are here, could honestly say that with a straight face. Like, wow. Like, wow. You know, you would think that the people that underwent this horrible situation would understand and would create an amazing space for these people and unification because, you know, like it's about inclusion, it's about coming together, you know, even beyond the hatred. It's about extending the right because ultimately the right wins, right? So it's about extending that olive branch. It's about going out there. It's about doing the whole situation. And I think a lot of people, it's that anti-Semitism word that people are like, you know, because Israel is doing this to a particular country or a particular people. Like they're literally genociding them. They're murdering all of them. That's what it seems like to us. And that's what the media is, all media is, even Jewish media is showing us. And you see people in the streets chanting, turn it into a parking lot. Like, wow, these are people. These are people. So, and these are Jewish people who are supposed to be our guides to the Lord. So it's like, what is going on? You know? I mean, at least that's what the Bible said, is that the Jewish people are the ones who usher everybody, you know, and help everybody grow and evolve and stuff like that. But some of these people are out there on the streets, and some of these people run the Israel army, and they're like out there just, we don't care if there's people in there. So it's like, what is going on? What is going on? So there's people, of course, that are Jewish, that see this as a horrible, horrible thing that is being done. And so there's that. And then there's people that want to basically say, oh, it's all Jewish people. And it's not. So it's this weird, murky line where, but what's ultimately, I, as a student of Kabbalah, I'm not Jewish, but as a student of Kabbalah, and how amazing the wisdom is and the power and the energy and the connection to the light of the Creator and the power that there is. And I want to share it with every single human being, plant, animal, everyone. You know what I mean? Constantly 24/7, alive, living anywhere in any dimension. And that's my goal. And it's like, how do you share that when you have that shell over it of people murdering and slaughtering people? It's like, you know, it's like if the Nazis were like, I have this amazing wisdom that I want to teach you. And you're like, yeah, no thanks. I think I'm going to pass because you're a Nazi. And so then what am I comparing the Israeli government to the Nazis? Well, it's all on video. It's all on pictures. It's all in history. You know, no people can sit there and be like, you know, but I mean, like, yeah, no, you know, Israel, how you treated the Palestinians. And at a certain point in time, you're going to have to answer that. And so, you know, even though Palestinians, you know, certain Palestinians, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's just a giant mess. And the only thing can answer is love and empathy and understanding. And so just stop. Just stop. I think, you know, something like let Palestinians into your homes and be like, and shelter them, build buildings in Israel while, you know, Palestine is being rebuilt for them. Make Palestine a state. Like, why is that a big issue? Oh, because of the temple. Everybody's like, the temple. We got to rebuild the temple. Ain't nobody give a fuck about the temple if y'all dead. What do you think you're going to usher? with a building. It's about inside. It's about the temple inside. It's about our hearts. It's about who we are as people, as humans to one another. Ain't no structure gonna do shit. If there's no one left to go inside, and then what are you gonna call? Which aspect of the Lord is gonna come through with amassing all that destruction? What aspect of the Lord do you think you're gonna usher if you finally do build a temple? All those questions. I mean, it's a mess. It's a mess. And love, empathy, understanding, reaching out. I stand with the Palestinians. I don't give a fuck if you're going to be like, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I know that there's a history and I know people have said things, but there's children and they deserve a space. And I know about the history and that's what they want. And they deserve a state. They deserve a state to live in harmony and peace with their neighbors. And once that state is built, maybe that's the temple. Maybe the temple is actually letting Palestinians have their own wonderful state, like country, so that they can, flourish and be neighbors and put everything aside. A really wonderful story that I was a part of that really like resonated my heart was the helping through the Rwandan genocide. At the time, I was working on behalf of Heifer International. And so what I would do is I would place these calls and I would ask for donations and say, what we're doing with this particular campaign is we are having the Tutus and the Hutsis come together because, first of all, there was the genocide. People came in and they murdered each other's neighbors, right? And then after that came HIV. And HIV just annihilated the city, annihilated the whole country. So people were dying, and so they needed hope. And so Heifer came in with cows, goats, and animals and taught them how to breed these animals and how to go next door to their neighbor who may be Tutu or Hutsi, or Hutu, Tutsi, and Hutu, and help them and learn with them and have classes together. And so through that unification, they were able to put aside their differences and move forward in a positive way. So through a travesty that had happened. So a lot of times I think that one of the big questions is forgive and forget. And I think that like forgiving, like I think a lot of us on paper are okay with that. Forgetting, that's a tough one, because you start rationalizing, saying to yourself, well, I need to remember so it's not done to me again. Well, the question is, why is it wrong if it's done to you again? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't have any answers. I'm just throwing it out there. In the eternal, universal, incarnate, always learning and growing through this process, So I think that like this, I'm getting way too deep, The point is that love. And we need to put aside our differences in regards to the Palestinian Israel conflict, and we need to empower the Palestinian people to have their own country and have their own rules and have their own neighbors and have their own homes and have their own buildings and hold Israel accountable. And are they going to build buildings? Are they going to, transform this into an amazing, inhabitable, beautiful space? I don't know. So all those questions are out there, about history repeating itself, going through that cycle. And the only thing that lets us ride through it is love, because we are eternal beings. We are. And so once we are unified to love, we pretty much can ride anything. I want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful eternity.